Hello everyone. Back again with film recaps. In this video, I'm going to recap one of the thriller mystery films from 2017, titled Beast. Before we get to the storyline, I'd like to wish everyone a happy and great day. Without further ado, let's get straight to the storyline. The movie opens on an island, where we see a memorial dedicated to several young girls, hinting that something tragic has taken place here. The scene then cuts to a church, where we meet our protagonist, Maul, who is practicing in the choir alongside the other church members. The choir director is Maul's mother, Hillary, who isn't satisfied with her daughter's performance, and asks her to do better. In the next scene, Maul puts on a beautiful dress, and attends her birthday party at her house. Despite the joyous occasion, she doesn't seem too happy, and is lost in her thoughts, until she is approached by her friend, Clifford. He wishes her a happy birthday before nervously giving her a police brooch as a gift, and it's clear that he likes her. Next, Maul's sister, Polly, gives a little speech for her sister, before suddenly announcing that she's going to have twins with her fiancé. Everyone begins congratulating her, and even Hillary asks Maul to bring champagne to celebrate this good news. Maul angrily heads inside and starts drinking, as she feels upset for being sidelined at her own birthday party. Her glass then accidentally falls, after which Maul begins squeezing the shards in her hand and feels strange pleasure while she's bleeding. Afterwards, Maul decides to leave the party, and heads to the sea to clear her mind. She soon arrives at a club, where she begins drinking and having a good time. She then hits it off with a guy, and the two continue enjoying the moment without a care in the world. The next morning, we see the two of them having fun at the beach, before they arrive at a secluded location. The guy suddenly tries to get intimate with Maul, and when she refuses, he points out how he has been buying her drinks all night. And then all of a sudden...
What are you doing, you freak?
It turns out to be a man named Pascal, who has a rifle, and the bothersome guy finally runs away from there. Afterwards, Pascal approaches a stunned Maul and, upon noticing the wounds on her hands, offers to help her. Maul is clearly intrigued by him, and follows him to his car, where he tends to her wounds. She notices blood on his hands and asks about it, so he shows her a rabbit that he hunted. It turns out that hunting is actually illegal here, so Pascal asks her to keep it a secret. Next, he proceeds to drive her home, and on the way, she looks at his books about various wild animals. They open up to each other, and Pascal reveals that he works as a craftsman, while Maul shares that she's a historical tour guide. Soon, they arrive at her parents' house, and Pascal notices the balloons at the entrance. Maul tells him it was her birthday, so he wishes her a happy birthday, after which they say their goodbyes. Once inside, Maul is approached by Hillary, who asks where she was all night, as they were all worried. Maul says she went for a walk at the beach, and fell asleep, but her mom tells her not to lie. Maul finally admits that she went dancing, and apologizes to her mom for her irresponsible actions. Hillary agrees to forgive her this time, saying it's only because it was her birthday. Afterwards, Maul goes to work, where she gives a tour to a group of tourists on a bus. When she returns home, she's shocked to find Pascal there, who says he just wanted to check on her. He even gives her a birthday gift, which turns out to be a book on wild animals and birds. Maul feels very flattered, and when her mom arrives, she introduces her to Pascal. Hillary coldly greets the young man, and quickly ushers her daughter inside. While entering the house, Hillary makes an insulting remark about Pascal, saying how smelly he is. This offends Maul, so she approaches Pascal again, and invites him to come on Saturday, as she needs a craftsman to handle some odd jobs around the house. Pascal agrees to be there, after which he drives away from the house. Later, Maul is having dinner with her family when they see a news report on TV about the abduction and murder of 3 girls over the last 4 years on the island. It turns out that recently, a teenage girl named Melissa has gone missing, and her mother is begging anyone with information to come forward. Days later, Pascal arrives at the house for the work, during which Maul continues to watch him from the window. Afterwards, she pays him, and it becomes clear that the two have chemistry, so Pascal invites her to hang out. We then see the two of them climbing a cliff next to the sea, and admiring the beautiful landscape. Pascal encourages her to come to the edge without fear and then boldly kisses her, making her feel very thrilled. Upon returning home, Maul finds her brother and mother furious, because she left her niece alone at home. Hillary realizes Maul went off with Pascal, and scolds her harshly for abandoning her niece, while the serial killer is on the loose. She treats Maul like a child, and even forces her to apologize to her niece for being selfish and a liar.
I'm sorry for being selfish and for being a liar.
The next evening, Pascal arrives at their home with some flowers, and Hillary says her daughter is busy, but Maul arrives and is happy to see him. She then invites him inside for dinner, to which Pascal eagerly agrees, while Hillary seems extremely annoyed. Later, Pascal joins the family for dinner, and during this, he reveals that he is a native of the land, and that his parents passed away some time ago. Polly then warns him to be careful with Maul, claiming she is a wild one, which makes her sister feel upset. Afterwards, Maul and Pascal arrive at a bar, where he asks about her sister's comment from earlier. Maul then reveals that when she was 13, she stabbed a girl in her class with scissors. She explains that she used to be severely bullied at school, and one day she snapped, after which she was expelled. Her mother then had to quit her job, and educate her at home. Upon hearing this, Pascal assures her that she's a good person, and asks her not to dwell on past mistakes, but instead to move forward. After some drinking and dancing, the two head home, and Pascal unexpectedly takes her to the woods. Maul feels uneasy, but he reassures her that it's just a shortcut, and asks if she's scared. After some consideration, Maul decides to trust him, and soon their closeness intensifies, leading them to make love in the woods. In the morning, we see Maul looking dirty on the couch in her living room, but she no longer seems intimidated by her controlling family. Not far away, some farmers are working in the fields, when one of them is horrified to notice a dead body buried in the distance. The authorities immediately arrive in the area, and it turns out the deceased girl is the fourth victim of kidnapping, assault, and murder on the island. Later, Clifford, who is a police officer, meets with Maul, and begins asking her some questions about Pascal. Maul reveals that they have known each other for a couple of weeks, and their love life has been amazing. Clifford then reveals that the dead girl, Melissa, disappeared on the night of Maul's birthday, so he asks her to give full details of that night. Maul lies, saying that after leaving her party, she went to the club where she met Pascal, and they danced all night, before leaving together in the morning. She wonders what it's about, so Clifford reveals that Pascal was on a list of suspects a few years ago. His story always checked out, but Clifford says he never believed him. He even shows Pascal's file, which lists previous convictions, including 3 cases of vandalism, 6 counts of dangerous driving, 2 of affray, and countless illegal poaching incidents. It turns out that when Pascal was just 18, he assaulted a 14-year-old girl, so Clifford asks Maul to reconsider her amazing boyfriend. However, Maul refuses to discuss any of this and angrily storms off. In the following days, she keeps her distance from Pascal, and spends her time focused on work and other activities. One day, after a church program, Pascal approaches her and asks where she has been hiding lately, as he had called her many times. She claims she's just been very busy, but Pascal senses her hesitation and decides to leave her alone. Later, Hillary praises her daughter for not continuing to go out with Pascal, but this only provokes Maul to do the opposite, so she approaches Pascal once again and takes his hand. Afterwards, while the couple is in the car, Maul informs him that Clifford spoke to her about his past. An angry Pascal demands to know what he said, so Maul tells him about the 14-year-old girl. However, Pascal claims it was consensual, and that both of them liked each other. He explains that the girl's parents turned her against him, and then accused him of all sorts of false things. Maul also reveals that Clifford thinks he is the murderer, but she lied to him, saying they were together that night. She asks if he did it, which Pascal finds very offensive. He expresses that he loves her, but tells her to walk away if she thinks that's right. He assures her that he didn't hurt those girls, so Maul decides to trust him and expresses that she loves him as well. The scene then cuts to a few days later, when Pascal and Maul attend Polly's wedding together. However, Polly doesn't like his presence, and even Hillary is disgusted by the young man. She bluntly tells her daughter to put a leash on Pascal, who is ruining their lawn. Later, While the family is having a meal, a waitress informs Pascal that he's not allowed in because he is wearing jeans, which breaks the dress code, but Maul defends her boyfriend and points out that he's wearing black jeans. The upset woman then makes a toast to her family, saying she forgives them for everything they've done to her. Upon hearing this, an angry Hillary demands that they leave immediately. The couple obliges, but before leaving, Maul grabs a golf club and angrily destroys the beautiful lawn outside. After this incident, Maul decides to leave her parents' house and move in with her boyfriend. In the following days, the couple seems genuinely happy, and Maul finally feels a sense of peace and freedom for the first time in her life. However, their happiness is suddenly cut short when one night, they are awakened by a knock at the door. Shockingly, there are police officers who immediately arrest Pascal, and even take Maul to the station. Once there, Maul is questioned by her friend Clifford, and a senior detective, Teresa. They explain that she is not under arrest, but failing to cooperate could jeopardize her defense in the future. Next, Teresa asks what she was doing on her birthday, so Maul recounts the same story, how she left her party, went to the pub, met Pascal, and danced with him all night. Teresa then shows her a picture of a man, who turns out to be the same guy Maul actually met that night. Maul denies ever seeing him, but Teresa presents a photo of them drinking and together, which proves that she was lying. But Maul confidently insists that she can't remember all the people she met while drunk. Upon hearing this, Teresa asks Clifford to leave, so she can speak with Maul alone. He obliges, after which Teresa shows Maul pictures of Melissa's dead body. It turns out the cause of death was suffocation, and the culprit had forced dirt into her mouth. Teresa tells her that Pascal doesn't love her, since he's incapable of love, and urges her to stop defending him. When Maul still refuses to change her story, Teresa brings up Maul's past, when she almost killed a girl. She states that just because Maul was bullied in school, she is now defending Pascal, as this is her way of seeking revenge on the world. This deeply offends Maul, so she angrily storms off, and heads home, where she cleans up the mess left by the police. She soon falls asleep, only to be awakened by the sound of someone knocking on the door. Maul goes to check, and finds several reporters wanting to know about her boyfriend's involvement in the murder, but Maul refuses to speak, and goes to work. Even there, she can't stop recalling the pictures of Melissa's dead body, which makes her feel disturbed and causes her to vomit. In the next scene, Maul arrives at a clothing store to meet the girl she stabbed many years ago, and she has a scar on her cheek. The woman is shocked to see her and asks why she's here, to which Maul replies that she just wanted to apologize. She insists that she's a good person, and was only trying to defend herself, but this only enrages the woman further, so she angrily tells her to leave the store, which the latter reluctantly obliges. Later, Maul goes to the church for Melissa's memorial, where the whole town is present, including her family. However, an angry man approaches Maul and demands that she leave immediately. He even curses at her, but Maul refuses and simply changes her seat. After the funeral, Maul approaches Melissa's mother to offer her condolences, but the woman becomes angry and tries to attack her, forcing Maul to run away. It seems the whole town believes Pascal is the culprit, which is why they resent Maul as well. In the parking lot, Maul screams at the angry man, and scares him off. In the next scene, Clifford arrives to visit Maul, and reveals that they've finally caught the perpetrator. He is a Portuguese man named Nuno Alvarez, who used to work on the farms. Clifford apologizes for everything, and Maul can't believe the nightmare is finally over. As she hugs him, Clifford reminds her that this doesn't mean Pascal isn't still bad news, and suddenly expresses his feelings for her. But Maul insults him, saying she doesn't like his smell, which offends the man, prompting him to leave. Next, Pascal is released from prison, and the reunited couple make love and enjoy swimming in the sea. Pascal then shockingly asks Maul if she would still love him if he were the murderer. He reveals that his mother abandoned him while he was in prison, while in the past, she used to tell him every day that she loved him. Upon hearing this, Maul replies that she has always trusted him, although she doesn't look so convinced. One night, while they are drinking and dancing at a bar, Maul suddenly says that she doesn't want to live on the island, and suggests they should run away. But Pascal is hesitant, saying he has a life here, including a house, and even a business. Maul continues to insist that she can't live here, which sparks a huge argument between them. The argument escalates to the point where Pascal puts his hand around her neck and begins violently choking her. He eventually stops, but Maul is so terrified by the situation that she immediately runs away. Later, she arrives at Clifford's house and asks him how they knew Nuno Alvarez was the murderer. Clifford explains that his DNA was everywhere, and even though Nuno didn't confess to the murder, he and the girl were on a date that evening. Maul then finally admits that she lied about the night of her birthday, and she didn't even see Pascal at the club. This makes Clifford very upset that she continuously lied during a multiple murder investigation. He's fed up with her behavior, and angrily kicks her out of the house. And so, a frustrated Maul goes to the place where Melissa was found, covers herself with dirt, and even tries to stuff it in her mouth. The next morning, Maul wakes up, and returns home, but doesn't find Pascal there. She cleans up after herself, and sometime later, her boyfriend finally arrives. Both of them apologize for what happened the previous night, and Pascal tells her that if she wants to leave, he will go with her. He adds that he would do anything for her, which makes Maul feel deeply touched. In the afternoon, they discuss where they might move, and Pascal says he needs mountains and the sea, so they consider Norway. Then, out of nowhere, Maul shocks him by saying she knows he is the killer. She just wants him to confess his actions, so they can be honest with each other. Pascal denies this, so to relate to him, Maul explains that the girl she stabbed wasn't an accident, but she did it intentionally to take revenge. She says they have both made mistakes in the past, and are the same, but she won't give up on their relationship because of those girls. She just needs him to promise that it's over now, and that he won't commit any more murders. Upon hearing this, Pascal thinks for a moment, and then says it's over, and those girls meant nothing to him. Maul seems satisfied, and suggests they leave this place immediately. The two then start driving, and everything seems perfect for a while. But then, Maul distracts Pascal. After some time, a bloodied Maul regains consciousness, and as she exits the car, she notices Pascal injured but still alive. She then climbs on top to finish him, but he pleads with her to wait, and claims they are the same. But Maul disagrees and begins brutally strangling him, until he finally dies. After lying beside him for a moment, an exhausted Maul gets on her feet, and walks away from there as the movie comes to an end. Okay guys, thanks for watching. See you again in the next video.